Stoner Van Houten show, and that's right, I'm Stoner Van Houten here, and I'm so fucking ready to get to this video and to let you know what's going on. So today on the Stoner Van Houten show, I am going to review the Manson Blog 2017 tour. That's right. There is a blog out there. There's a website you can go to called mansonblog.com. It's a phenomenal website. It's a great website. There's a ton of great information there. As a matter of fact, this whole video is dedicated to mansonblog.com. Go to everything I talked about today on this video. Just go to mansonblog.com. You'll see every article written about everything I'm going to talk about today. You'll see pictures, you'll see video, you'll see photos. So, everything that I'm referencing to today, the link is mansonblog.com. You'll read and see, excuse me, everything that I'm talking about today in this video. So, I actually have gone on the once a year, mansonblog.com does a tour. Okay, let me explain this to you. Let me explain how this works. Let me explain what people do and why we do this. Because I think a lot of people out there are kind of like really weirded out or kind of curious about why do we do this? Why are you doing this? Why do you go to these addresses? Why do you go to these sites? Why are you doing this? And I get a lot of comments from people, you know, from me, asking me, a lot of emails, you know, why? So let me I'm going to answer that question right now. Why do we do this? Look. It's very simple, and I know this is going to sound lame in a way, but it's a hobby, okay? I understand people collect baseball cards, they collect stamps, they do this, they do that. Now, with the invention of the internet and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all these ways to communicate with people all over the world, now groups and different kinds of groups can be created, and different kinds of themes can be created. And people who are interested in a certain subject can come together now. Whereas before the internet, it was a little hard to find someone in your neighborhood that kind of liked the same thing you did, even though like maybe you liked horror films, but nobody else in your neighborhood liked horror films, but for some odd reason, you just like horror films. You know, I don't know why, I just like horror films. I like being scared. I like, you know, the blood and guts and all that kind of stuff. But then you're trying to find someone in your neighborhood who's into it, but all they're into is comedy and drama and love movies and all this kind of crap, and you're like, doesn't anyone like to be scared or horror flicks, you know, or anything like that? Look, it's just like that. You either like comedy, you like horror flicks, you like drama, you like those you know, action movies. It's the same thing. Everybody has a different taste. And this is just a hobby for me. I still have to go to work and pay my taxes and pay my rent and all that kind of stuff, just like you. I don't spend every single fucking day trying to figure out another place to go and something else Manson and yeah. Look, it doesn't really work like that, okay? Look, but when we have time and we make time to do this, and anyone can do this with us, so don't act like it's just us. We invite the public to come with us. And it's not cheap. You got to pay for lodging and your food and everything like that. And you got to take the time off of work. And you got to be able to come to California because this is where it was. It didn't happen anywhere else. So you have to. It can be done. Anyone can join us. It's just a matter of you being able to take the time off your job, having the money, having the plane tickets, having the lodging, having the money for food, you know, and stuff like that, and anything else in between. You know, it's fine. It's not cheap, but it's a lot of fun. It's about 5 days, and it's a lot of fun. This is a 5-day event. 5 days. And it's pretty cool with different sites. Actually, I take that back. It is 5 days, but 1 day being a travel day, so really it's like 4 days. So it's 4 days really of Manson sites. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's 4 days of Manson sites. Just checking my notes here, with 1 day of travel. So it comes out to about 5 days. And it's phenomenal. But it's a hobby, people. It's just something that we do, and we like to do it. So it's like anybody could grab the book Helter Skelter and look at the addresses and start looking around and go, hey, let's go to this address. This is where they got murdered, and this is where they had dinner, and this is where they did that. And anyone can really do that. You know, grab the book, and people do that. As a matter of fact, a good way, a great movie that I'm going to reference right now is Manson Family Vacation. Watch that movie. It's on Netflix. Manson Family Vacation. That movie was made in 2015, and it describes what people like me and other people, not just me, but a lot of people in California, because this is where it happened, you know, are doing that. they're grabbing the book Helter Skelter and they're looking at all the addresses and going, okay, I want to go to this address, Jay Sebring's house, and I want to go to Waverly Drive, and I want to go to Cielo Drive. I want to go to fucking El Coyote. I want to go to the spot where they dumped off the the clothing. I want to see the spot, the house where the gun was in the backyard where that kid found it and stuff like that. And the addresses are all there. And then people take Helter Skelter and they walk around and they do that. Look, that's just what people do. You know, if you think it's weird or creepy or whatever, hey, that's on you. But this is what people do. And there's other groups besides Manson groups. There are plenty on Fit, believe me, and I'm in a few of them. On Facebook, there are many, many groups like serial killer groups, murder groups, who are way more into murder and disgusting stuff. And they post a lot of crime scene photos on those groups and a lot of graphic videos in those groups. If you've ever been in any of those groups in Facebook, you know, some of those murder groups, they're very graphic. They're hardcore. You know, in my particular group on Facebook, when you come into my group, I actually don't allow any crime scene photos in my group. My group is basically promoting Spawn Ranch and the Manson family when they lived at Spawn Ranch. Spawn Ranch meaning George Spawn and his family, and movie making and how it was back then, and also ranch hands and stuntmen. That's the part of it that I love. And that's the part that I'm trying to bring. And also keeping it clean. It's a state park and all that stuff. Also, yes, I do a big part of it because the Manson family did live there. Yes, they were there. Yes, things went on there. And do I find out about that? And when you take one of my tours, you find out about real information that went on there from me, which I find out from other people who actually were there at that time. People all the way from the grandchildren of George Spawn to people who were kids there, to stuntmen that were there, to actual Manson family members that were there. So everything I do is Spawn Ranch related, and that's really, you know, that's my gig, and that's what I do, and I like doing it, and I like letting people know it's a state park now, and keeping it clean. First of all, keeping it clean and excuse me, keeping it clean and graffiti free and safe for your kids is the main goal of what I do. Really, for me, it's about, yes, this was Spawn Ranch. Yes, people think bad things about it when there's really nothing to think bad about it. It's a state park now. It's actually very beautiful. It just looks like any other park. If you didn't know what it was, trust me, you'd walk around thinking, hey, this is a great place. And a lot of people do. But most people don't, because a lot of people actually already know about the area. So that's really what it's about for me, is the environment. And keeping it clean and letting people know it's a state park with the Manson twist. I know a lot about the Manson family at Spawn Ranch. I'm not talking about the case, I'm talking about Spawn Ranch. And that's my thing. And that's what I do. So what I do is I join other groups like MansonBlog.com, and they just happen to be doing these tours where they're going to go on these different sites. And I'm like, hey, I do the same thing too. And that's what we do. So we go to these different sites just because this is what we're into. And just so we could say we were there and we can write a little article about it, and there you go. Whether you think that's weird or not, trust me, I've seen some other stuff in some other these murder groups that are just far out. People want to go to Jeffrey Dahmer's house where he lived, or they want to go to Ed Gein's place, which isn't there anymore. As a matter of fact, Ed Gein's place was burned down, and now it's a state park. And they want to go to where Bundy lived, and they want to do this, and they want to go to Ashbury Avenue in Oakland, where Ed Kemper, that was his street, where he stalked people. Look, I know about this stuff because I'm in these groups. I live in the area. I'm in California. If you're not in California, you're not going to know about this stuff. You have to be in California. Because this is where, you know, I don't know about your state, but we have a lot of fucking serial killers here. And we have a lot of shit going down in this state. Okay? Sorry. That's just the way it is. And we have to learn to live around it. And we do. And some of us just happen to do stuff like this and go check things out. So we had the Zodiac Killer, we had the Manson family, Green River Killer, we had Bundy, we had Ramirez, you know, come on. We had some of the big top 10. We have the top 10. California, come on. I'm not going to lie. You know, hey, it's nothing to brag about, you know, California being, you know, the #1 state for serial killers. But hey, you know, even though I know Bundy was killed in Florida, but hey, but it doesn't matter. Let's just talk about everybody else too. And I'm sure you have killers where you live too. So don't act like, you know, you don't have murderers, rapists, tweakers, weirdos in your neighborhood. I'm sure you do. Every place, they're all over. You know, but maybe they're just not as famous. You know, murders happen every single day, but they're not high profile, so it's not a big deal. And maybe they happen in your town, and it may be a big deal where you live because the murder just happened. Hey, we just had a guy right here just shoot some people in Sacramento at a pool party. He was just sitting around. He broke up with his girlfriend, pulled out a gun, and just started blowing people away at a pool party. This just happened yesterday, and I bet it has. I bet you haven't heard of it. You know what? But yet somebody lost their life there and somebody died. But you know what? It's not high profile. It's just it's a shooting that happened in Northern California, and but people died. See, this is a high profile case. This is the biggest case ever, I guess, in LA, with the way the media's blown this shit up. The media's made this case seem like it's the biggest case of all time. Even though we had OJ, we had Ramirez, we had some big cases. Come on. You know, we had taxpayers paying, dishing out some serious money for some of these cases. And I think OJ even blew away the Manson case as far as financially. So that's what we do. So I don't have a problem with doing this. This is fun for me. I like going to different places. It's kind of eerie and creepy. I like horror flicks. I don't know if you like a good scary movie, but that's the way I kind of justify this. And I know there's a lot of haters out there and weirdos that want to it's funny how the haters out there, I know who you are, and you know who you are too. I'm not naming names, but you know who you are. The funny thing is that you're into the same thing we are, and yet you're hating on us. It's like, hey man, come on. So there's different kinds of haters. There's people who don't give a shit at all for Manson, and they want him to die. They want everybody in the family to die, and they want me to die because I'm promoting all this. That's a different kind of hater. And then there's the haters who are actually into Manson, but yeah, they just hate what I'm doing because maybe they're just jealous because I'm getting a little further away, further than them, and I'm doing some stuff and maybe meeting some people and doing. Hey man, I'm getting a name for myself, and I got a lot more followers than you. That's for sure. So hey. And there's nothing that can be done to me, honestly. And this is a personal message to the haters out there. There's nothing that can be done to me personally. I will never spend a day in jail. I will never pay a fine for anything I do. I will always give tours. I will constantly give tours. So just bring it on. Bring anything you have. Hey, it's all good because it won't bother me. It's not going to affect me. This is all I see. A lot of talking and no action. See, action speaks louder than words. But if this is all you're going to do is talk, then guess what? It goes in this ear and right out the other. And I can deal with that all day long, so you can call me fat, ugly, stupid. It doesn't matter because it's just talk. Action speaks louder than words. Let's finally see something from you. If you're going to finally do something, stop talking and start doing something. And then maybe you might earn my respect. But for right now, you're just a fucking lame asshole who fucking just wants to talk, who's just really, really, really jealous. Because this guy who smokes pot and fucking pushes a broom around is getting further than you. And that's a fact. So let me move on. So, the Manson Blog Tour is a phenomenal fucking tour. And I recommend anyone to take it, and I recommend anyone to go to their website. It's called mansonblog.com. It's run by Matt, Deb, and Ann, and George Stimson. They're all writers of the blog. They're phenomenal. It's a great website. As a matter of fact, if you want to pick up a great book, pick up a book called Goodbye Helter Skelter, written by George Stimson, a friend of mine. Go to his website. It's called goodbyehelterskelter.com. Pick up a copy of it, read it, and don't forget before you buy it, ask George to sign it because he will. It says contact me at the bottom, and he will, say, hey man, can you sign my book? And he totally will. It's a phenomenal book. It's a great book. Pick up a copy today. That's George Stimson's book, Goodbye Helter Skelter. You can pick it up at goodbyehelterskelter.com. And you know what? You can tell him Stoner told you to do that, whatever. That'd be great. That'd be cool for me, at least. So anyway, let me get back to the tour. So I took this tour, and this is like my 4th year taking the tour. It was phenomenal. And I'm going to go through real quickly each day of what we did and what went on there. So day 1 of the tour, that responsibility of that tour actually fell onto me. Everybody who takes the tour, if they can, kind of pitches in. And they get like a day when they can orchestrate what they're going to do that day. And day 1 just happened to be my day. That was a day where I was like, okay, you know what? I have a feeling, this is what we're going to do today. And that day we actually went, let me just get my notes here. We did the Haight-Ashbury. We did Abigail Folger's gravesite. And then we did Clem with the Barbecue Hot Sauce Band in Oakland, California. And I'll start with Haight-Ashbury real quick. So we went up to the Haight, and up at the Haight, anyone knows you can go up to Cole Street, 636 Cole Street. You can go to the clinic. You can go, then you can drive down to the Russian embassy, and then also just hanging out at the Haight is really cool. And walking up and down, you can go into Golden Gate Park, go to Hippie Hill, smoke a couple doobies, or all that kind of fun stuff. Believe me, there's a lot of action going up at the Haight. While we were up at the Haight, we found a great bookstore. George Stimson found this great bookstore where they were selling his book, and I don't know the name of it, but if you're in my group, you can just get the name of it from there. Anyway, so that was fun. So that's where we went up there first, and then right from there we drove right down to where Abigail Folger's gravesite is. You could just Google that. We went there. She's in a mausoleum there. We took some photos, went there, paid our respects. That was it. And then from there, then after that, we drove over to into Oakland, and this is where it gets kind of trippy, and there's a lot of you that have been commenting. I've been getting emails on this. We went to a restaurant in Oakland, California to go see a band, a blues band, and Steve Clem Grogan just happened to be playing guitar in this band. All right, so you know, you could do your information to find out the name of this band and stuff. I'm not going to give out the information of the band, nor am I going to give out the information of the restaurant. But I'm sure, you know, with the internet today and stuff like that, it won't be hard for you to find out everything I'm talking about. So we went to this restaurant to see this band play, knowing that Grogan, the man who helped kill Shorty Shea. Remember, it was Grogan, Tex Watson, and Bruce Davis killed Shorty Shea at Spot Ranch. We went to this bar or this restaurant to go see this blues band play. Grogan's there. We had dinner, and it was incredible. Now, this is the second time I've done this. This is the first time Manson Blog's gone to see them. Going there to see him. Now, look. Here's the thing about this now. People, here's the backlash that we've been getting from this. Okay, people? And I'm gonna address people here who've been telling us like, well, did you ask him who he was? Did you ask him why he killed Shorty? Did you ask him anything like that? Did you say, hey, Grogan? You know, because he doesn't go by that name now. You know, we know him as Steve Clem Grogan, the man who helped kill Shorty Shea. He doesn't go by that now. Today he goes by the name of Adam Gabriel. The two names of his sons, Adam and Gabriel. He took those two names and made it one name. That's what he goes by now. And he goes around Northern California, where he lives, and plays in different blues bands. And we just happened to have a friend of ours who just happened to be at a restaurant in Oakland and found him one night. So I went down there, saw him, it was him, and then this following Thursday, we went down there with Manson Blog. And if you look, everything I'm talking about, just go to mansonblog.com. You'll see the pictures of Grogan. You'll see the video that we took. You'll see everything I'm talking about. Now, people are asking us, like, people are getting kind of mad about us. Like, why didn't we confront him? Why didn't we? Look, I'm not here to out people. I'm here to find them, if I can, look at them, film them, you know, take pictures with them, maybe get them to sign something, and that's really about it. You know, I'm not going to out him. Look, this is this man's job. Okay, however you feel about him, the man is 65 years old now. He has a wife, a house. I know where he lives. Nice house, nice car, nice job, nice little wife. Everything's fine. You know, I did talk to him. Sure, when it was a set break, I talked to him. But I talked to him as Adam Gabriel. I talked to him like, hey man, I just want to know, like, is this your regular job? And it is. He says he plays 5 nights a week. One night he's in Oakland, the next night he's in Fresno. I know where he lives, and trust me, from where he lives to go to Fresno, that's at least a 2.5-hour drive. For where he lives just to get to Oakland is about an hour drive. So this man is driving all around Northern California 5 nights a week, playing guitar, playing, you know, like Santana songs and blues songs, and you could see video and you could see photos of him. Just go to mansonblog.com and you'll see everything I'm talking about. So he's doing his job. He's paid his dues. Look, I'm an ex-con myself. I've done 2 terms, 7 years total. I know what it's like to be in prison. I know what it's like, how hard it is to try to get work and to try to get a life after that when no one trusts you. Oh, you can't get a job. Oh no. Oh no, Mr. Fox. You know you can't do. No, you can't do this because you know I have a record and it is hard for me to get work. I'm not gonna lie. You know, a lot of jobs I got to do under the table. I'm an ex-con, so ex-con, I get it. For ex-cons, it's hard. You know, once people see that you have some kind of record, they don't want to hire you. So this man's got murder. I have, you know, hey, I don't have that on my, I don't have murder on my record, thank God. You know, but I have, you know, it's bad enough. So it's hard enough for me just to try to get work because I got some shit on there. I'm not going to lie. You know, and I've been very honest with people. I've done 2 terms, 7 years total. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, so it is hard for me to get work. But with this man having murder on his record, trust me, and he changed his name and everything. He's trying to be incognito. Now you're thinking to yourself, like right now, you're probably thinking, well, hey, you made this video, and isn't he going to see this? And isn't the band going to find out? And isn't, why you're exposing him right now, Stoner? You're trying to be cool and collected, but how do we know you're not exposing him right now? Hey, yeah, that's the way haters. That's the way you guys sound when you fucking get all like irate and everything. Hey, Stoner, how do you know he's going to do? You guys sound all stupid. Look, I'll take my chances. I will take my chances that the band he's in goes onto YouTube and goes to my channel, Spawn Ranch Worker, and looks up the videos or whatever. Trust me, these are old men. Remember, he's 65 and he's playing with members who are probably about his age or older. So I don't think people of gender, or of any gender, who are 65 or older really give a shit about YouTube and looking up stuff and looking at videos and blah, 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 blah. I only have fucking 1,500 subscribers to my YouTube channel. I understand anyone can go on YouTube and look up stuff, but I doubt these old guys. Now let's talk about that for a second. I doubt the band does that. Now, do I think Grogan actually monitors himself on the internet? Actually, I think so. Look, if he were to find out anyone was onto him, it would be because he is investigating himself. It's not that hard for him to sit at home and then Google his name and Grogan, or go on YouTube and type in Spawn Ranch. The videos will pop up. He'll know instantly. Come on, people. You can do that right now. Just open up another window on the top while I'm talking right now, and then just go to YouTube and just type in Spawn Ranch or Manson Family or Death Valley or anything like that, or Steve Grogan, and trust me, a video will pop up. So don't you think it could be just as easy for Grogan to be at home one day and his little Chinese wife is in the other room and she's doing whatever, and he's in his little man cave room and on the internet, whatever, doing whatever, and he types in, he's on YouTube and he types in, Adam Grogan. Adam Grogan playing guitar. That's all he would need to do. That's all he would need to do is type in Adam Grogan plays guitar on YouTube. And don't you think he would know people were on it? Don't you think he would see the fucking video I made that's on there? Don't you think he would? Look, we didn't out him because the man has every right to fucking live his life, regardless of how you feel about him. And look, I have friends who knew Shorty Shay, and they don't like him at all, and they don't like me going to see him and making him, acting like we're treating him like he's some kind of fucking rock star, which we're not. Because he was friends with Shorty Shay. I have people that know Shorty Shay, so I get it. I know why people don't like him, but look, I'm talking about from a convict's point of view. The man did 10 years. He cut a deal somehow. Look up the deal. He cut a deal, gets out, shows them where the body is. There you go. He's put on some kind of restriction for a while. Look, since then, the man hasn't been in any trouble. He's been really good. Yes, he's been kicked out of different bands. He's in the Mitch Woods band, then he's in this band, then he's in that band. Sure, Google his name. You'll see there's a little thing at the bottom. It says how many different bands he's been in. Shit. Look, he's had a tough time. And then I understand people like me come along and put the video on YouTube and make a video like this, and you think I'm outing him, when really I'll take my chances on... If he knows himself, that's fine. I don't care. If Grogan finds out that I'm onto him because I went 2 weeks in a row or whatever, that's fine. It's whether or not the band knows. Do I think the rest of the band are on YouTube doing all that stuff? Look, I don't know. I'll take my chances on that instead of people just thinking like, oh, just because you went there and you're doing this video, you're outing him. That's not necessarily true. That is not necessarily true. Just because I'm making this video doesn't mean he's going to lose that job or whatever it is. The band's going to find out. You know what? That is not true. So the reason we didn't confront him is because the man has every reason to move forward with his life. I wouldn't stand up in the middle of a fucking restaurant, point at him and go, hey, that's Steve Grogan, the guy that killed Shorty Shay. Hey, that's him on guitar. Why would I do that? Why the fuck would I do that? That's so stupid. Look, man, I'm not going to do that to him. And that's a convict. You know what, man, thing? That's just a convict thing, man, where, like, I have enough respect for Heyman. Look, he did his time. He did whatever. Now, he's 65, he's on stage, he's doing a Santana song, or he's singing a little blues song, mother-in-law, whatever, you know what I mean? He's doing some stupid little blues, not stupid blues song, he's doing a little blues song, no big deal. Hey, come on, man. I'm not going to sit there at the set break and say, hey, are you Steve Grogan? I know you are, and I know who you are, and blah, blah, blah. You know what, man? The man has every right to live his life the way it is, and he'll die peacefully, and then one day, maybe or not, we'll hear about it in the news. I don't know, but we went and saw him. and it was phenomenal. And he was a very good guitar player, a very good singer. Um, and that's really all I can say. You know, I mean, that was it. I'm not going to go every week. I'm not going to stalk the man. I mean, you out of your fucking mind. Yeah, now I'm going to move on to the next thing, and that's what we do. So we went and saw him, and that's kind of like the cherry on the sundae, and that's the way our first day ended, and that was day one of the Manson blog tour, and it was probably our biggest day. It was definitely our longest day, our biggest day. We did a lot, you know, between Haight-Ashbury and Oakland, and then, you know, Grogan, and being there and videotaping him and just seeing him, you know, and knowing what he'd done and what he'd been through and what we're going through now. You know, it was a lot. So that was the first day right there. Then day two was the Ukiah murders, Navarro Beach, and the witches of Mendocino. Now, like I've said, just go to mansonblog.com. You can see every article, pictures, videos of everything I'm talking about. So that was day two. Day three of the Manson blog tour was Sacramento, which was actually awesome. Which we went to the Capitol to show you the exact location of where where Lynette Squeaky Fromming pointed an empty gun at Gerald Ford in 1975. The exact location. Now, because of the redwoods. She was protesting because of the environment at the time. That's why she pointed the gun at Ford. It cost her 35 or 34 years of her life, but she pointed an empty gun at Ford in protest of the redwoods. And when we went there that day, on day three, there just happened to be an environmental rally going on right at that spot, right where Ford was. There were speakers. They were talking about the environment. Go to Spawn Ranch Worker, which you're on right now, and check out my fucking video about that. It's called Lynette Frommie versus Gerald Ford. And that was actually kind of ironic how we're going to see the site where Lynette Frommie points a gun over the environment, and then there's an environmental rally going on the same day. So that was actually kind of cool. That really said something to us that day. So that was, so we did Capitol Park. Then we went to P Street, where Lynette and Sandra lived, right there on P Street and 18th Street. We did Old Sacramento City Graveyard. If you remember, there was an article, they did an article or an interview for a German magazine, and they're in their red cloaks and they're pointing down at the grave, and it says Heinz at the bottom of the gravesite. It was that graveyard is over on Broadway and 9th, and that is the Old Sacramento City Graveyard, and that's where we went there too. And that was day three. Day four was very simple. Was Guernsville, and that was the James Willett murder. And that was it was a quick day, and it was, you know, there was only 2 sites that day, and that we went to go see where James Willett, where he had dug his own grave and where he was murdered. And then we tried to go see where the cabins were, where the girls actually stayed, in cabin 10 and cabin 14. But when we got there, the owner of the facility knew why we were there. They knew we were like true crime bloggers, and they didn't want the publicity of Manson people being there. So they actually told us to leave, but we were still able to get some video, a couple pictures, and that was about it. Actually, the picture didn't come out very good, but that was actually the first time we had ever experienced anything like that, where they'd actually told us to leave. I guess other people had come before, other bloggers who were into the same, you know, the same thing. In that general area in Guernsville, people know about the Willett murders. It's actually kind of popular in that area because it's not Manson related. It's actually a separate issue. Now go to mansonblog.com and you can learn all about James Willett and the Ukiah murders and stuff like that. So it's not the reason that it's kind of we added it on the Manson tour is because 2 members of the a couple of members of the Manson family were dating or seeing these men who happened to kill this couple. So go to mansonblog.com and learn all about it. So, and that's what the tour is all about. So it's not necessarily everything that we see on these tours like isn't always like Charlie related. And technically this was like in 1972. A couple of the girls were dating some AB members. And they were involved in some shit, some robberies, home invasions, stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. And next thing you know, just like in every single case, it's like people think people are going to snitch. And then once the paranoia sets in, that's when people get hurt and get killed and get murdered. And the same thing happened pretty much in this situation. But there were Manson family members involved, and they were acquitted. And then the people that actually committed these murders, they were murdered themselves. Remember, like I said, go to mansonblog.com and you can read all about it and see photos about the James Willett murder in Guernsville County. And that was the 4 days of the Manson blog tour, and I have to say it was phenomenal. It was actually a lot of fun. The place we stayed at was great. The people there, Deb and Matt and Julie, and even the dog Yana, and George Stimson, and my beautiful girlfriend Ann. Everything was great. We had a great time, great place, great area. You know, we did some other things too. We went to the state park and saw a lot of the redwoods up there too, which was awesome. I made a video about that dedicated to Lynette Fromme, because she's named after the redwoods. And we went up there, and while we were seeing these really tall redwoods, if you ever come to California, I really recommend going up there to see those redwoods. They're phenomenal. They're just, my God, dude, they're huge. They're gigantic. They're over, 1,400 years old. It's amazing. And they're just, it really gives you a sense of who you are, and and where we're living, and how we need to save the forest and everything, and the air, and the trees, the waters, and the animals. Atwa really is a real thing that we really need to take seriously, the environment. I know a lot of you are thinking it's a joke or this or that or whatever, but trust me, thinking about the environment is very, very important. It really, really is. Just to have fresh water, fresh air, and everything like that, and fresh food, for us. I'm getting old too. I'm almost 50, for Christ's sake, and I'm not going to be around much longer now, but I want, my friends' kids, I don't have any kids, but my friends' kids and everybody else, and my friends, I want them to be around for a long time. And that's a big part of that. And that's one of the great thing about being up there, and that really reminded me of Lynette Fromme when we were at that state park of the redwoods, just looking at these tall redwoods. And so that was great. So this is Stoner Van Houten here with the review of the Manson Blog Tour 2017, which I went on. And I want to just give a big thank you to Matt, to Deb, to Ann, to Julie, to George, and to Yana. Thank you, thank you, thank you for a fucking, for a real good time, that Loose Lucy song by the Grateful Dead. Hey, thank you for a real good time, man. It was wonderful. I can't wait to do it next year. And let me tell you this, people. I'm going to give you a little fucking, don't tell anyone, but I already kind of know what's going on for next year. I'm not going to ruin it for you people. I know already a little bit of some of the things we're going to do 2018. The Manson Blog Tour 2018. Wow. I got a little tidbit. It's going to be good. If you want to go on that tour, start saving your money now. It's not cheap, but damn it, it's fucking fun. Hey, this is Stoner Van Houten here. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the video. And everybody out there for Manson Blog Tour, thank you so much for inviting me. I can't wait for next year. Matt, hey, bro. Hey, we got your jacket. We're going to mail it to you. I think Deb's going to mail it to you, so don't trip. And get that batting average up. And Julia, Yana, and I hope you guys are doing great. And I hope you guys had a great, safe trip back home. Can't wait to see you guys next year. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for allowing me to be on your tour and to smoke pot and just to be, drunk all the time. And, you guys are pretty straight, and I'm always just high and drunk all the time. But damn it, we got the work done. And that's really what it's all about, is getting the work done. You can have fun, but damn it, you got to get the, write the articles, take the pictures, get the video. As long as you got that, then we don't care how fucking wasted you get. And thank you, Matt, for saving our lives there at the Capitol. You know what I'm talking about. This is Stoner Van Houten here. I'm going to leave you with a song now from a band that I absolutely fucking love. They're the greatest band in the world. They're called The Hook. If you like what you're hearing, just go to ReverbNation.com and type in The Hook and become a friend of the band. They're the band that sings my opening song that you heard, Spawn Ranch Worker. Jimmy Hook's a wonderful guy. Just go on Facebook and like him on Facebook. Tell him that Stoner sent me. But go to ReverbNation.com and become a friend of the band. They're called The Hook. This song's called Wolfman of Ireland. Hey, this is Stoner Van Houten here on the Stoner Van Houten Show. Take care, everybody. And we're going to do it again next year, 2018. Trust me. I know some of the details. It's going to fucking blow your mind. It's going to be a lot of fun. Start saving your money. And to all you haters out there, hey, whatever. Take care.